Let's dive right into this explainer. Have you ever walked away from a conversation feeling like you just survived a hidden battlefield? Today, we are exploring the psychological warfare that happens literally right under our noses. Look, manipulators aren't usually watching you because they admire you. They're calculating you. They're scanning the room for open wounds or, any tiny sign that you're seeking approval. And the very second they sense a tremor of hesitation in your voice or maybe a flash of guilt in your eyes, bam, they strike. It's not a fair fight, right? It's often disguised behind polite smiles, fake concern, and those awful backhanded compliments. So we're going to break down exactly how you can stop bleeding your energy to these kinds of people.
From a really young age, we're all taught the virtues of being kind, honest, and, an open book. But here's the thing about the realm of manipulation. Playing the default good guy can actually put a huge target on your back. A manipulator will look at that kindness and simply weaponize it against you. They will purposely distort your honest answers just to make you look bad, and they'll dig through your openness like vultures looking for vulnerabilities. Seriously, if you just keep defaulting to that open book setting in a world filled with psychological predators, you're basically volunteering to get played.
Niccolò Machiavelli actually hit the nail on the head centuries ago with this one. He understood that insisting on absolute purity makes us entirely predictable and incredibly fragile as a result. Now, to be clear, we aren't talking about becoming evil here. It's more about adopting a mindset that allows you to see the trap way before it snaps shut on your ankle. From this point forward in our explainer, the rule is this: you don't react, you calculate. You don't justify, you simply observe. So here's the structured manual we'll be walking through today. First, we've got the manipulator's game. Then, Phase 1, immediate defenses. Moving into Phase 2, strategic maneuvering. Phase 3, the kill shot. And finally, becoming unreadable. Let's get to it.
All right, Phase 1, immediate defenses. Let's look at the mirror and the vacuum.
The absolute core of the mirror defense is understanding that manipulation relies entirely on asymmetry. When you simply reflect their weird riddles with silence or their fake kindness with cold detachment, you completely break their game. Actually, here's a fun psychological fact for you. As humans, we're biologically wired to mirror facial expressions to build empathy. But when you consciously refuse to mirror a manipulator, it literally triggers a mild stress response in their brain. So if someone asks you a probing, passive-aggressive question, you just calmly ask them the exact same question back. Don't fight them, just hold up a mirror to their own behavior. And since their behavior is usually pretty ugly, they can't stand looking at it for long. Think of your public emotion as data. The emotion vacuum tactic is built on a very simple rule. You never give free data to someone who's trying to map out your weaknesses. Now, this isn't about becoming some numb, unfeeling robot, okay? In private, you absolutely should process and feel everything. But the moment you flinch, over-explain, or try to defend yourself against a subtle dig in public, you're literally handing the manipulator the exact blueprint of what hurts you. You're stepping right inside the emotional cage they just built. By becoming an emotion vacuum, giving them nothing but stillness and unreadable eye contact, they lose their map. They have absolutely no idea what move to make when the board goes completely still. Moving on to Phase 2, strategic maneuvering. This is where we cover delay, reversal, and ambiguity.
We all know that speed kills rational thinking, right? Manipulators absolutely love urgency. But look at what happens when we strategically slow down time. Let's say they send you a super demanding text at minute 1. Your first instinct might be to rush in and smooth things over. Don't do it. If you strategically wait 12 hours, or hey, even a full 24 hours, you create this massive psychological space. The silence does the heavy lifting for you. It makes them second-guess their power, and eventually, their own desperation causes them to double text or lash out, completely exposing their hand. I mean, have you ever felt obligated to reply immediately? Yeah, that is exactly the trap.
Now, reward reversal is easily one of the coldest tactics in psychological warfare. It's where you deny a manipulator the very emotional reaction they're addicted to. See, they use praise to hook your ego and guilt to hook your conscience. Normally, when someone overflatters you, you feel obligated to give them attention back. Or when they try to guilt trip you, you feel this burning need to explain yourself. Reward reversal means you do neither. You respond to their flattery with complete indifference, which signals you already know your value. And you respond to their guilt trips with a flat, not this time, with zero defensive explanation. You literally starve them with the validation they're desperately looking for. Which brings us perfectly to ambiguity armor. We live in this society that constantly demands full transparency, but handing absolute answers over to a toxic person, that's just giving them the coordinates to plot against you. Intentional gaps, on the other hand, turn you into an unreadable fog.
They simply can't calculate a strategy against you if they can't figure out exactly where you stand.
So here are the specific, actionable ways you can actually deploy this ambiguity armor in your day-to-day language and body movements. First off, when they demand to know what's wrong, don't go on a huge emotional rant. Just calmly say, "I'm processing." Also, stop nodding excessively in conversations just to be polite. Manipulators read that as submission. Instead, just pause. Give them stillness. Human beings inherently hate psychological silence, and I guarantee you the manipulator will almost always end up over-talking and revealing their true intentions, just to fill the quiet void you've intentionally created.
Welcome to Phase 3, the kill shot. Let's explore the exit threat and playing dumb.
The exit threat is basically the quiet, confident possibility that you can walk away at any given moment. Manipulators bet heavily, all their chips, on your fear of losing the connection, the job, or the relationship, but you can project unbreakable leverage without uttering a single word. How? By controlling your time and not always being so available, by maintaining emotional discipline so they clearly see they can't wound you. And silently, in the background, you build your own independent options. You emit this powerful aura of detachment, and detachment absolutely terrifies a manipulator because suddenly you are the one who can pull the plug on their psychological oxygen at any time.
Machiavelli famously noted that it's much safer to be feared than loved. But bringing this into everyday life, the most terrifying person in the room isn't some screaming tyrant. No, it's the person who can smile and quietly walk away with their value intact. Real fear, the kind that commands absolute unquestioned respect, comes from the realization that you simply do not need them. People will respect your boundaries when they truly believe they can lose you if they don't. The exit threat ensures every connection in your life is something you've chosen, not something you're chained to.
Now, playing dumb is what I'd call a master-level strategy. It totally removes your instinct to prove someone wrong right in the heat of the moment, allowing you to quietly document their behavior and completely destroy their blueprint later. When someone throws a passive jab or sets a little trap, your ego is screaming to leap up and point it out immediately. But a true strategist, they just shrug it off with disinterest. You let them think they're being incredibly clever. You let them get sloppy, let them get comfortable. Because the real victory isn't winning some petty argument right then and there, it's proving they never actually had control to begin with, by exposing them precisely when it benefits you the most.
Finally, our resolution: becoming unreadable. Total immunity to manipulation. Power doesn't chase, it chooses. This means you are no longer playing just to be accepted, and you're officially done acting as an emotional supplier. You've completely replaced the need for approval with cold clarity and unshakable authority. When you truly internalize that power doesn't chase but chooses, you kill the instinct to constantly fix things, to over-explain yourself, and to people-please toxic individuals. You start walking into rooms without seeking acceptance. You make people adjust to your presence, instead of twisting yourself into knots to adapt to theirs. It is a real game changer.
So, after exploring this tactical playbook and learning how to dissolve manipulation with absolute indifference, ask yourself this: have you become a ghost to those who try to control you? Because when you take away their data, when you delay your responses, reverse the rewards, and put on your ambiguity armor, you become a puzzle they simply cannot solve. And to a manipulator, there's absolutely nothing more terrifying in the world than a target they can no longer read and a person they can no longer control.